When reality meets the supernatural in a world increasingly defined by technology and science, there exists a realm where skepticism falters and curiosity reigns supreme: the paranormal. For centuries, humanity has been captivated by stories of ghostly apparitions, unexplained phenomena, and encounters with forces beyond our understanding. Yet, in an age where smartphones capture every fleeting moment and surveillance cameras monitor every corner, these once dismissed tales have found new life through something far more tangible: evidence. Welcome to Real Paranormal Events Caught on Camera, Episode 2, a chilling exploration into moments when reality collided with the supernatural, all documented through the cold, impartial lens of a camera. This series is not just about recounting eerie anecdotes or amplifying urban legends. It's about uncovering real-life incidents that defy logic and challenge our perception of the world around us. From shadowy figures caught darting across security footage to inexplicable orbs floating serenely in family photos, each story we delve into tonight has been meticulously researched, verified, and presented to send shivers down your spine while leaving you questioning what lies just beyond the edge of our comprehension. These are not staged performances or clever edits. They are raw, unfiltered glimpses into the unknown, captured unintentionally by ordinary people living seemingly ordinary lives. As we embark on this journey together, prepare yourself for an evening filled with suspense, intrigue, and perhaps even a touch of fear. The events you're about to witness are as unsettling as they are fascinating, drawing from first-hand accounts, expert analysis, and irrefutable visual proof. Whether you're a seasoned believer in the paranormal or someone who approaches such topics with healthy skepticism, these stories will leave their mark, forcing you to reconsider the boundaries between the seen and unseen, the known and unknowable. So dim the lights, grab your favorite blanket, you might need it, and join me as we step into the shadows of the extraordinary. In this episode, we'll unravel some of the most compelling cases ever recorded, exploring how modern technology has become an unwitting accomplice to the supernatural. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew, because sometimes, the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's staring right back at you through the lens of a camera. The haunted basement, a family's unsettling discovery. It began innocently enough, a routine home renovation project in suburban Ohio. The Thompson family had recently purchased a charming but aging Victorian house, eager to breathe new life into its weathered walls. Like many older homes, it came with quirks: creaky floorboards, drafty windows, and a damp basement that seemed perpetually cloaked in shadow. But nothing could have prepared them for what they would uncover beneath the layers of peeling wallpaper and crumbling plaster. The trouble started shortly after the Thompsons installed a security camera system to monitor their progress during late-night work sessions. With 2 young children and a busy schedule, having eyes on the property provided peace of mind. At first, the footage showed little more than the expected comings and goings: tools being moved, paint cans stacked neatly against the wall, and the occasional curious raccoons scurrying past the backyard window. Then, one fateful evening, things took a sinister turn. While reviewing the previous night's recordings, Mrs. Thompson noticed something peculiar. On the feed from the basement camera, a faint mist appeared to swirl near the far corner, dissipating as quickly as it formed. She dismissed it initially, chalking it up to condensation or a glitch in the equipment. However, over the next few days, the anomalies grew more pronounced. Shadows danced across the frame without any discernible source of light. Objects shifted positions overnight despite no one entering the space. And then, on the 4th night, the camera captured something that left the entire family shaken. At precisely 3:17 a.m., the timestamp read clearly on the screen. The camera panned slightly downward. There, standing in the center of the basement, was a figure cloaked in darkness. Its silhouette was humanoid but distorted, elongated arms hanging limply at its sides. It didn't move, at least, not like a living person would. Instead, it swayed gently, almost hypnotically, as though caught in an invisible breeze. For nearly 30 seconds, the entity remained motionless before dissolving into the air like smoke. The Thompsons were understandably terrified. They reached out to local paranormal investigators, who arrived armed with EMF detectors, thermal imaging devices, and audio recorders. What they discovered only deepened the mystery. Thermal scans revealed cold spots concentrated in the same area where the figure had appeared, while electromagnetic fields spiked erratically throughout the basement. Most chilling of all, EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, recordings captured during their investigation yielded fragmented sentences spoken in voices that didn't belong to anyone present. "Leave me alone, I'm trapped." And most hauntingly, "Help." Further research uncovered a grim piece of history tied to the house. Decades earlier, a tenant named Margaret Halloway had lived there under tragic circumstances. Records indicated she suffered from severe mental illness and was confined to the basement by her family, who believed isolation would cure her condition. Tragically, Margaret died under mysterious circumstances, her body discovered weeks later in the very spot where the camera had captured the spectral figure. Neighbors whispered of hearing screams emanating from the house, though authorities dismissed the claims as hearsay. The Thompsons' case gained national attention after they shared their findings online. Skeptics argued the footage could be manipulated, yet experts confirmed its authenticity. The video went viral, sparking debates among paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. To this day, the family refuses to set foot in the basement, opting instead to seal it off permanently. Their story serves as a stark reminder that sometimes, the past doesn't stay buried, and cameras can reveal truths too horrifying to ignore. The Phantom Hitchhiker, a roadside mystery captured on dashcam on a quiet stretch of highway winding through the dense forests of Oregon, an ordinary commute turned into an extraordinary encounter, one that would forever alter the lives of those involved. It was a crisp autumn evening when Sarah Bennett, a college student returning home from a late-night study session, decided to take a shortcut along State Route 18. Little did she know, her dashcam was about to record one of the most baffling paranormal events in recent memory. Sarah's drive began uneventfully. The road was deserted, save for the occasional flicker of headlights in her rearview mirror. Around 11:45 p.m., as she approached a particularly isolated section of the highway, her attention was drawn to a figure standing at the edge of the pavement. At first glance, it appeared to be a hitchhiker, a young woman dressed in a flowing white dress, her hair cascading loosely over her shoulders. Something about her demeanor struck Sarah as odd. She stood unnaturally still, gazing intently at the approaching vehicle with hollow, unblinking eyes. Feeling a mix of pity and unease, Sarah slowed her car to a stop beside the woman. Rolling down her window, she called out, "Do you need a ride?" The hitchhiker tilted her head slightly, as if considering the offer, but made no attempt to respond verbally or approach the car. Instead, she raised a pale hand and pointed toward the horizon, where the forest met the sky. Before Sarah could react further, the woman vanished, disappearing into thin air as if she had never existed. Shaken but determined to make sense of what she had just witnessed, Sarah continued driving, replaying the scene in her mind. It wasn't until the following morning, when she reviewed her dashcam footage, that the full extent of the encounter became clear. The video revealed details her memory had failed to register in the moment. As the hitchhiker materialized beside the road, her form seemed translucent, shimmering faintly in the moonlight. When she disappeared, the camera captured a faint outline lingering for several seconds before fading completely. Stranger still, the timestamp froze momentarily at the exact instant she vanished, resuming only after she was gone. Intrigued and alarmed, Sarah uploaded the footage to social media, hoping someone might provide an explanation. The response was overwhelming. Comments poured in from viewers claiming similar experiences along the same stretch of highway. Many recounted tales of encountering a mysterious hitchhiker who vanished without a trace, often pointing them toward destinations they hadn't mentioned aloud. Some speculated the woman was the spirit of Emily Carter, a local legend said to have perished in a car accident decades earlier. According to folklore, Emily had been walking home from a party when she was struck by a drunk driver. Her body was never found, leading some to believe her soul remains tethered to the road, seeking closure. Paranormal investigators soon descended upon the area, conducting interviews with residents and scouring historical records for clues. Their efforts yielded intriguing parallels between Sarah's account and other reported sightings. One eyewitness described seeing the same hitchhiker appear in his rearview mirror, only to vanish when he turned around to check. Another claimed to have picked her up, only for her to disappear mid-conversation, leaving behind a faint scent of lilacs. Despite extensive research, no definitive answers emerged. The ghostly child of Willow Creek Cemetery, a mother's desperate plea. Nestled on the outskirts of a small town in Pennsylvania lies Willow Creek Cemetery, a serene yet somber expanse dotted with weathered tombstones and towering oak trees. To locals, it's a place of quiet reflection, where families pay respects to loved ones long gone. But for Amanda Hayes, a grieving mother whose world shattered 3 years ago, the cemetery became the epicenter of an ordeal that defied explanation and haunted her every waking moment. It began with a single photograph. Amanda had taken her camera to the cemetery on what would have been her daughter Lily's 7th birthday. Lily, a bright-eyed child with an infectious laugh, had tragically drowned in a nearby lake 2 summers prior. Since then, Amanda visited the gravesite regularly, finding solace in tending to the flowers and sharing memories aloud, as if speaking directly to her lost daughter. On this particular visit, however, something unusual occurred. After snapping a few pictures of the headstone adorned with fresh daisies, Amanda returned home to review the images. Among the usual shots, one stood out immediately. Standing beside the grave, partially obscured by the blur of movement, was the unmistakable figure of a young girl. Her features were eerily familiar, long blonde hair framing a cherubic face, wearing the same sundress Lily had worn on the day she died. The image sent a jolt of both hope and terror coursing through Amanda's veins. Was it possible? Could Lily somehow be reaching out from beyond? Determined to understand what she had captured, Amanda revisited the cemetery multiple times over the following weeks, each time armed with her camera. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. In nearly every photo, the ghostly figure appeared again, sometimes holding hands with Amanda's reflection, other times crouching playfully near the base of the gravestone. Occasionally, faint whispers could be heard embedded within the ambient noise of the recordings, though they were too muffled to decipher clearly. Word of Amanda's discovery spread quickly through the tight-knit community. Some neighbors expressed sympathy, convinced she was experiencing a profound manifestation of grief. Others, however, urged caution. Tales of restless spirits tied to unfinished business circulated quietly among the townsfolk, and Lily's untimely death had always carried an air of unresolved sorrow. Speculation mounted that her spirit lingered due to a desperate need for closure, a plea for her mother to let her go. Seeking answers, Amanda enlisted the help of a renowned paranormal investigator named Dr. Evelyn Carter. Together, they conducted a series of experiments using advanced equipment, including infrared cameras and digital audio recorders. During one particularly harrowing session, the team captured a voice unlike any they'd heard before. Clear as day, amidst the static, came the words, "Mommy, I'm okay." Amanda collapsed in tears, overwhelmed by the weight of emotion contained within those simple syllables. Yet, the messages weren't always comforting. Other recordings revealed darker undertones, with phrases like, "Don't forget me," and "Stay close," delivered in tones that bordered on desperate. Dr. Carter hypothesized that Lily's spirit might be trapped in a liminal state, unable to fully cross over because of her mother's inability to move forward. This theory was supported by psychics brought in to consult on the case, who described sensing a powerful bond between Amanda and Lily, but also a barrier preventing the latter from progressing spiritually. Haunted by these revelations, Amanda faced an impossible choice. Part of her clung fiercely to the idea that keeping Lily's memory alive meant preserving their connection, however fragile. Another part recognized the toll it took, not just on herself, but potentially on her daughter's soul. After months of internal struggle, Amanda made the heart-wrenching decision to hold a memorial ceremony, inviting friends, family, and clergy to formally bid farewell to Lily. As candles flickered and prayers filled the air, Amanda released a final balloon bearing a note addressed to her daughter. "Be free." The results were immediate and undeniable. Subsequent visits to the cemetery yielded no further sightings or auditory phenomena. The oppressive heaviness that had once enveloped the gravesite dissipated entirely. While Amanda still mourned deeply, she felt a newfound sense of peace, a bittersweet acknowledgement that letting go didn't mean forgetting. Her story serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities surrounding grief and the supernatural. Sometimes, love transcends even death, but true healing requires courage, acceptance, and ultimately, release. The poltergeist of Elmwood Manor, chaos caught on CCTV deep in the rolling hills of rural Kentucky, stands Elmwood Manor, a sprawling estate steeped in history and mystery. Built in the late 19th century, the manor had long been a fixture of local lore, whispered about in hushed tones as a place where strange occurrences were commonplace. Yet, it wasn't until 2018 that the property earned its reputation as one of the most active paranormal hotspots in the region, all thanks to a series of chilling events captured on closed-circuit television, CCTV. The incident began when the new owners, the Patterson family, moved into the manor after purchasing it at auction. Drawn to its architectural grandeur and bargain price, they were blissfully unaware of the dark legacy that awaited them. Within days of settling in, bizarre phenomena began unfolding. Doors slammed shut on their own accord, furniture rearranged itself overnight, and disembodied footsteps echoed through empty hallways. At first, the Pattersons dismissed these disturbances as the quirks of an old house settling into its bones. That changed when they reviewed footage from their newly installed security system. One particularly unsettling clip showed a heavy oak chair in the dining room sliding across the hardwood floor without any visible force propelling it. Moments later, plates and silverware flew off the table, crashing to the ground in a cacophony of shattering glass and clanging metal. No one was present in the room during the incident, yet the chaos unfolded as if guided by an unseen hand. Another video captured a shadowy figure darting down the staircase, pausing briefly to peer directly into the camera before vanishing into thin air. The figure's movements were jerky and unnatural, reminiscent of a marionette controlled by erratic strings. As the disturbances escalated, the Pattersons reached out to paranormal investigators, who arrived equipped with an arsenal of high-tech tools designed to detect supernatural activity. Thermal imaging cameras revealed significant temperature fluctuations in specific areas of the house, particularly near the library and master bedroom. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters registered spikes far exceeding normal levels, suggesting the presence of an energy source incompatible with human interaction. Audio recordings captured during overnight vigils included guttural growls, frantic scratching sounds, and disembodied voices issuing cryptic warnings like, "Get out," and "You shouldn't be here." Historical research conducted by the team uncovered a grim backstory tied to the manor. In the early 1900s, Elmwood was home to a reclusive inventor named Harold Whittaker, whose experiments with electricity and magnetism reportedly drove him to madness. Locals claimed he conducted dangerous rituals in an attempt to harness otherworldly power, ultimately sealing his fate when a catastrophic fire consumed the east wing of the house. Whittaker perished in the blaze, and rumors persisted that his tormented spirit remained bound to the property, lashing out at anyone who dared disturb his domain. One of the most disturbing pieces of evidence came during a live-streamed investigation broadcast online. Viewers watching the feed witnessed a dramatic sequence unfold in real time. A chandelier in the foyer swung violently back and forth, accompanied by the sound of breaking glass as light bulbs exploded one by one. Simultaneously, the camera angle shifted abruptly, capturing what appeared to be a pair of glowing red eyes glaring menacingly from the shadows. The live stream cut off abruptly moments later, leaving thousands of viewers speculating about the nature of the entity haunting Elmwood Manor. Despite, or perhaps because of, its terrifying reputation, the estate has since become a magnet for thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. Ghost tours now operate regularly, offering brave souls the chance to spend the night within its haunted halls. Yet those who dare to enter must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the wrath of Harold Whittaker's poltergeist, or will they become another chapter in the manor's sinister saga? For the Pattersons, the ordeal proved too much to bear. After months of relentless harassment, they sold the property at a loss, vowing never to return. Their story serves as a stark reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some doors should remain firmly closed. The mysterious lights of Black Hollow Trail, a camper's unforgettable encounter nestled deep within the dense wilderness of Northern California. Black Hollow Trail has long been a haven for outdoor enthusiasts seeking solitude and adventure. Known for its rugged terrain, towering redwoods, and pristine streams, the trail attracts hikers, campers, and photographers year-round. Yet, beneath its serene surface lies a secret that has puzzled locals and visitors alike for generations: the ethereal lights that dance unpredictably through the forest after dark. For decades, these mysterious illuminations have sparked debate, inspiring theories ranging from atmospheric anomalies to extraterrestrial visitations. But for one unsuspecting camper, the truth proved far more unsettling than science or speculation could explain. It was a crisp October weekend when Mark Reynolds, an amateur videographer and avid outdoorsman, embarked on a solo camping trip to Black Hollow. Armed with his trusty DSLR camera, a tent, and provisions for 3 days, Mark hoped to capture the beauty of the autumn foliage under the glow of the full moon. He set up camp near a secluded clearing, surrounded by ancient trees whose gnarled branches twisted skyward like skeletal fingers. As dusk settled over the landscape, he lit a small fire, savoring the crackling warmth while preparing dinner. Everything seemed idyllic, until the lights appeared. Around midnight, as Mark sat by the dying embers of his campfire editing footage on his laptop, a flicker of movement caught his peripheral vision. Glancing up, he saw what initially resembled distant lightning, except there was no storm brewing overhead. Bright orbs of light hovered silently among the trees, pulsating softly in hues of blue, green, and white. Intrigued, Mark grabbed his camera and began recording, assuming the phenomenon might be bioluminescent fungi or reflections from nearby water sources. But as he zoomed in, the behavior of the lights defied logical explanation. Instead of remaining stationary or slowly drifting, the orbs darted erratically, weaving between tree trunks and descending toward the ground with purposeful precision. Some circled low over his tent, casting an eerie glow that illuminated the interior, as though floodlights had been switched on. Others hovered inches above the forest floor, leaving behind trails of frost-like residue that glimmered faintly in the moonlight. Mark's initial fascination quickly gave way to unease as the lights began exhibiting signs of intelligence. Several orbited his camera lens, seemingly inspecting it, while others formed patterns resembling geometric shapes before dispersing abruptly. The climax of the encounter came when one particularly large orb descended directly in front of Mark, hovering mere feet away from his face. Through the viewfinder, he captured astonishing detail. The light possessed a core that pulsed rhythmically, surrounded by concentric rings of shifting colors. As he stared transfixed, the orb emitted a soft hum, a sound akin to electrical interference, that resonated deep within his chest. Suddenly it surged forward, engulfing him in a blinding flash of brilliance. When the light faded moments later, Mark found himself lying on the ground, disoriented and trembling, with no memory of how he got there. Reviewing the footage the next morning, Mark discovered something extraordinary. The video revealed that the orbs communicated in ways beyond human comprehension. Frames analyzed frame by frame showed intricate symbols etched briefly into the air, resembling ancient runes or mathematical equations. Audio enhancements isolated a series of clicks, whistles, and modulated tones embedded within the hum, suggesting a form of nonverbal language. Most chillingly, the final moments of the recording depicted the largest orb splitting into smaller fragments, which then arranged themselves into a spiral formation before vanishing entirely. Mark's experience ignited widespread interest, prompting researchers and paranormal investigators to descend upon Black Hollow Trail in search of answers. Scientists proposed various explanations, including ionized gas formations caused by geological activity or rare atmospheric conditions. However, none could account for the intelligent behavior displayed by the lights. Local Native American tribes offered an alternative perspective, sharing oral traditions that spoke of spirit walkers, beings of pure energy tasked with guarding sacred lands. According to legend, these entities manifest as luminous orbs to warn intruders or guide lost travelers safely home. To this day, the mystery of Black Hollow's lights remains unsolved. Mark's footage stands as one of the clearest pieces of evidence documenting the phenomenon, yet it raises more questions than it answers. Are these lights remnants of an ancient civilization attempting to communicate? Or are they guardians of a realm hidden just beyond our perception? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: Those who venture into the depths of Black Hollow after dark do so at their own peril, for the forest holds secrets that refuse to yield to reason or fear. Patterns of the unexplained, drawing parallels across real paranormal events as we reflect on the harrowing tales explored in this episode of Real Paranormal Events Caught on Camera. It becomes evident that these seemingly disparate encounters share striking similarities. Beyond their individual contexts and locations, these stories weave together threads of universal themes, revealing patterns that transcend cultural, geographical, and temporal boundaries. By examining these commonalities, we gain insight not only into the nature of the paranormal but also into the human psyche's enduring fascination with the unknown. One recurring motif is the concept of communication, or attempted communication, from the other side. Whether it's the ghostly child of Willow Creek Cemetery whispering messages to her grieving mother, or the enigmatic lights of Black Hollow Trail inscribing symbols in the air, these entities appear driven by a desire to connect. Their methods vary wildly, from audible voices captured on EVP recordings to visual cues like pointing gestures or symbolic patterns, yet the underlying intent remains consistent: to bridge the gap between worlds. This theme underscores humanity's innate need for dialogue, even when faced with forces beyond our understanding. Another shared characteristic is the element of disruption, manifestations that disrupt the natural order of things, creating chaos and challenging our perception of reality. The poltergeist of Elmwood Manor exemplifies this perfectly, hurling objects and manipulating physical environments in ways that defy scientific explanation. Similarly, the phantom hitchhiker disrupts the flow of everyday life, appearing unexpectedly and vanishing without warning. Such disruptions serve as reminders of how fragile our grasp on normalcy truly is, forcing us to confront the limitations of our knowledge and control. Light plays a pivotal role in many of these narratives, acting as both a literal and metaphorical beacon. From the flickering orbs of Black Hollow Trail to the spectral glow emanating from the ghostly hitchhiker, light often serves as the primary medium through which the supernatural reveals itself. This reliance on illumination highlights the dual nature of the paranormal, simultaneously enlightening and obscuring, drawing us closer while maintaining an impenetrable veil of mystery. Moreover, the settings in which these events unfold are rarely arbitrary. Cemeteries, abandoned houses, remote trails, and desolate highways, each location carries emotional weight and historical significance, providing fertile ground for the supernatural to take root. These spaces act as conduits for unresolved emotions, traumatic memories, and forgotten histories, amplifying the intensity of the phenomena witnessed within them. In essence, the environment becomes a character unto itself, shaping the narrative and influencing the outcome. Dear viewer, as we bring this episode of Real Paranormal Events Caught on Camera to a close, I hope you've felt the same electrifying blend of awe and apprehension that defines our journey into the supernatural. These stories, captured through the unflinching gaze of modern technology, serve as potent reminders that the line between the mundane and the extraordinary is thinner than we might dare to imagine. Each tale we've explored tonight challenges us to rethink what we know, to question the limits of our senses, and to embrace the possibility that the world is far stranger, richer, and more mysterious than we've been led to believe. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, or even a lingering sense of unease, I urge you to take the next step. Venture into the unknown yourself. Whether it's visiting a reputedly haunted site, setting up a camera to capture the unexplained, or simply listening closely to the whispers of your surroundings, the opportunity to engage with the paranormal awaits. You don't need to travel far. Sometimes, the most profound encounters happen right where you least expect them, and when you do stumble upon something inexplicable, whether it's a fleeting shadow, a disembodied voice, or an orb of light dancing in the darkness, share your story. Document it, analyze it, and add your voice to the collective tapestry of human curiosity. Because every piece of evidence, no matter how small, contributes to our understanding of the unseen. Together, we can shine a light into the shadows, one frame at a time. Until then, keep your cameras ready and your minds open. The supernatural is out there, waiting to be discovered, and perhaps, just perhaps, it's already watching you.